Hi everyone, welcome to Early Battles of World War II, Part 2. This is Tevi, live from room 114. So I'm opening up with this slide, showing some of the devastation after the Doolittle raid on Tokyo. And so what this brings out, guys, under number 1, is that Japanese war planners finally agreed with Yamamoto. They knew that they had to protect Tokyo, and they also knew they had to pursue the American fleet and finish them off once and for all. Remember, Emperor Hirohito was really revered as a god, so think about how that will factor in to how the Japanese conduct their war. Next, New Guinea. So under A, guys, why do you think the Japanese were trying to go after New Guinea? Please look at this map and look at the proximity of New Guinea to Australia. I don't know if you guys know, but Australia was huge for the Allies in terms of their supplies. And so the Japanese, under 1A, guys, wanted to cut the American supply lines to Australia by taking over New Guinea. And under 1B, guys, the Japanese believed that they could actually carry out both attacks. Remember, Yamamoto wanted Midway, and they were also pushing for this attack on New Guinea. They thought they could do them at once because they thought their plans were kept secret. And so under number 2, the Battle of the Coral Sea. Just put down at number 2, guys, that only 3 aircraft carriers were assigned to from the Japanese. So the Japanese kept the rest for their attack on Midway. So that's how they kind of split things up. And under 2A, guys, the Japanese did not know that an American team of code breakers based in Hawaii had broken their secret code. And tomorrow we're going to go on a great website to hear the first-hand account of what it was like to break down the code piece by piece. Under 2B, guys, March of 1942, the decoded message alerted the U.S. of the Japanese attack on New Guinea. So under 2C, guys, in response, Nimitz sent 2 carriers, the Yorktown and the Lexington, in early May. There was an all-out airstrike from both sides against each other. And under 3D, guys, although the Japanese sank the Lexington and badly damaged the Yorktown, we were able to keep the Japanese away from our supply lines and kept them open so that we could trade with Australia. This was key. So this slide is just a nice recap talking about the importance of New Guinea, and the Japanese thought their plan was secret, and Nimitz is all ready when he gets the message. And there were some casualties, but it really helped keep our supply lines open. And so with the Japanese being thwarted at New Guinea, they're going to now go on to the Battle of Midway. And so this is interesting. We're going to look at this in close detail tomorrow, guys. But the code breakers really worked around the clock with some of these machines that were like the first early computers. And what you see here on the right was a machine known as the Enigma. So first used by the Germans, and then we were able to access it as well. So let's go right to number 3. Next to Battle of Midway, guys, please put down, back at Pearl Harbor, the code team had learned about their plan, about the Japanese plan to attack Midway. And so under 3A, guys, Nimitz had been waiting for this opportunity. He wants to, do a surprise attack and ambush the Japanese. And so under 3B, guys, the Japanese were unaware of this ambush, and they just walked right into it. They launched their aircraft first, and we were ready. So they lost on the first day 38 planes. So here are 2 pictures of the admirals, Yamamoto and Chester Nimitz. So guys, under 3C, Nimitz had this counterattack launched pretty quickly from American carriers, so the Hornet, the Yorktown, and the Enterprise. So that's for 3C. And under 3D, guys, 4 Japanese carriers were sunk. So next line is Yamamoto, guys, ordered the remaining ships to retreat. Please note under 3D that really was the heart of the Japanese fleet, those 4 carriers. So this was June 4th in 1942. So we really just go all out against them to make sure that they don't get Midway. And here's some points just to back up the outline, guys. I'm going to show you the battle map in just a moment, but this really was, guys, go to 3E. This was a real costly turning point. American lives, 362, and the Japanese, over 3,000. So, guys, also make sure you put down that just 6 months after Pearl Harbor, the U.S. had stopped the Japanese advance. So that's for 3E. So, guys, please look at this battle map. And what I'm going to have you guys do is kind of follow it from, look at this, June 4th, 4:30 a.m. And I'd like you guys to follow back and forth between the U.S. and the Japanese. And in your notes, guys, at the very bottom, underneath Battle of Midway, put down some of your observations from this map. For example, why do you think the U.S. Was able to overwhelm the Japanese? Maybe you could look at some of the names of the Japanese carriers and when and where they were sunk. So please put down at least 2 observations from this famous Battle of Midway, and we'll talk about those in our groups. Alright, guys, and let's just conclude with some photographs of the day. So here's just a famous pilot who was awarded a congressional medal, James Murray, seen here with his crew. You know, you can see the this is just one of the propellers. Remember, they were twin propellers. And on the other side just shows how we were able to dive bomb and use all of our power here to sink some of the Japanese cruisers. Alright, guys, the last thing I'm asking you to do is to look at this political cartoon. And so when you come into class tomorrow, I'm going to have you describe it. So please take a look at it carefully. This will just be a homework check, so be ready. And you know, look at what's going on and who do you think the author is, and what's their point of view. So that'll be our check for tomorrow. Hope you guys have a great night. And we'll be looking at the code breaking and the Battle of Midway tomorrow in class. Have a great night. Signing off, this is Debbie.